Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we shall be talking about the create functionality in using Prisma, but we shall be using server actions this end. Today we shall be using server actions. So you see, I've already created my form. Let me go to it and see. I've already created my form, as you see right here. Now I've already connected to MongoDB. I've already connected to MongoDB, as you see. I run its studio, the Prisma studio. We check whether it was successfully connected. So I will say npx Prisma studio. So as it is running, let's wait a moment. So it has loaded. This is the Prisma studio. This is the model that I have created. So as you see, we have nothing in it. So I will be creating some contacts using my form, and they must be displayed here and in my database inside here in MongoDB. So let's begin. Okay, first of all, let me rerun my app. I had stopped it. Let me rerun it. Okay, as it is running, I will create a folder here. Okay, I will create a folder and name it actions. Inside this folder we shall be putting there our actions we need to do, to perform, in order to create new thing, or in order to create our data. So a folder actions, so that folder will contain all the functionalities we need. So as you see here, now inside the actions I'll put a file called I'll just name it any name. Like now I'm working on personal data, so I will name it personal data .ts. So here, now remember, we need our form to be taking the data to MongoDB. So when we are using actions, in the actions tab, we shall input the function we need to do in order to create the data from the form. So I will say export function. Remember, it must be an async, because it requires awaiting. As you know, it requires waiting, so it is a process. so it must be async. It is a process. It's not data is not retrieved immediately, it's not created immediately, but it takes some time to be created and sent to the database. So async function create, the function will be create data. So here inside here we say a try catch. We use a try catch. So in the catch, we catch the error, we console the error, in the try we must input the function for creating the product. So as you know, I'll be creating personal data, so I'll say const personal data, is equal to we await the database, like the DB, that the function inside here to take place, this one inside here to take place. So we shall say await DB. So DB from libs, we take DB from the libs dot, then here we put our model, and our model was called person, personal dot. Now here we put what the action we want to do, we want to create. So we shall say create. This is the function. So we create the data from what? We create the data from, so we shall say create data. So, and here we pass in that from where. So there is a parameter data implicit has no any type, so we shall give it a type. Remember I created my types called personal, so I will say personal. I will use the ones from Prisma client. So this is our function. And remember, server actions, as you hear server actions, so we must use server. They must be on the server side. So I shall say use server. So this is my function. So now here we return the personal data. So this is finally our function, for creating. So and I will first console it, console.log, then personal data. We check whether the data is really coming, because we may be here when the data is not coming. So I must see it here when it has created. So I will come to my form in this function here, right here in this function. So here, since we have data types, I will use personal persona on Prisma client. Even I think the submit button also, so I'll put it here. I'll give it a type persona. Give it personal. What else? Here agent is not assignable, so here I'll put contact type number. Okay, here we go. In this function, I will call the other function for creating, but at least let me first put a load at least to show us when it is loading, creating. So I'll come here, this is a const loading, comma, set loading, is equal to use state from React, and initially it must be false. Begin when it is false. So I'll come to my button down here. I call my whole button, this button right here, Ctrl X, put this. I say if loading is true, then we run this function, else we do this. So if loading is true, we shall input here, we shall make it disabled, actually disabled. Now here we shall put creating, then we shall use a loader. I will install. Okay, we shall install React icons, npm install React icons. You can use any icons you want, but I will spelling, the spelling is wrong, sorry. It's React icons, okay, it is done. We have installed React icons, so we come here to our button. We call any icon. I will call a loader. I need a loader from React icons. I'll use this loader. There's already Flex. and justify. We shall add items center. Items center, you give it a gap of 1 rem. So let's go and see what we have created. Whether if we click we can see a loader just trying. Okay, loader is not, I have not activated it, sorry. I'll activate it in this function. We shall set loading. We shall set loading to true. Remember it's false, so in this function we shall set it to true. Okay, now let's go back and see. If we click, it is done, but it's not rotating. I'll come here, I'll give it an animation. This load, I will give it an animation of, I'll give it a class name, let animation animate spin. Okay, let's go back and see. You see now it is rotating, so that is it. Whenever we shall be creating, it will be rotating. As you see, when we press, it starts creating. It starts creating. So we shall now we go to our function up here. We run a try catch. Now it's time for the try catch. Try catch. Here we set loading to false. When it's wrong, we set loading to false. Set it to false, and we also console the error. We console the error, and we alert. Failed to create. Please try again. So that's now here in our try, it's where our actual thing will be. So since we have already our function for creating, we shall just call it in our form here. So here we shall say await. We shall say await, then we await for the other function create. It is here create data. From create we pass in the data. Await expression is not allowed, so we must add an async. This function must be async. So after waiting for the thing, so we alert success. We alert created successfully. And we also set loading to false. set loading to false. So let's check whether it is working properly. So we shall come here, refresh a bit. So we input a certain data here, certain data. It says 075, just like that. We sign in. The thing is created successfully, but wait a moment, let's check here whether it is there. It must be here. So contact is a string, so it has not created it because it is taking this as a string. So we must change contact to a what? To a number, because the form by default, everything from the form is taken as a string. So we must, in order to turn this into, to turn our contact into a number, we shall just turn it into a number. So to turn it, we shall say const, no, we shall call the contact from our data types, then we equate it, we pass it into a number, an int. So we shall say data dot, we call our contact is equal to pass. We pass an int, then we say we need to pass this one, data dot contact known as so it will be as unknown as string. So that is it. So if we write this, it means we have converted our contact in the data we are entering in the form into a number, because in Prisma we don't use number, we use int representing a number. So by writing this pass int, we have converted our contact, which is received from the form as a string, into a number. So let's go and recreate. We see recreate and see. We shall go back, reload. Okay, we shall come here, we sign in, created successfully. But wait, it's here. It has been created successfully. So we can go to our Prisma Studio, we refresh, fetching rows. This is our created created record. So but I'm not seeing the loading. Can go back and check. Set loading true. Okay. I can't. Let's first see the error. Try to pass the compilation statement. Email. So we shall create another one and see whether it is creating. So zero 7. It has created successfully. That is it. So for refresh here, we see you see visual, they are there. You can create again. You see when the loading is working properly. So you can you see, so it has been created successfully. So when you go to Prisma and reload, it is working properly. So that is it. That's all about the create functionality.